Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I wanted to do something that I at least find a bit interesting, and that's I'm going to be going through all of my Steam games, and I'm going to be saying if I recommend them or not. And yeah, that's the concept. I don't think I've seen it done before, but then again, maybe people do this kind of thing, and I just haven't seen it. So I'm gonna be doing it in alphabetical order, although I do have this folder here. So these ones I guess will be picked first, and then it will be alphabetical order. So, Ark Survival Evolved, and this is probably my favorite Steam game. Not my favorite game ever, but it's my favorite Steam game. I've played it quite a lot. Considering my standard, I think my highest Steam game is like 900 hours, so 620 on Ark, plus I used to play it all the time on my iPad as well, before I got my PC, so Ark is definitely, like, I think my favorite, and there's just so much to do, so many maps, so many creatures. I know it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people who don't like Ark, but I really like Ark. It's my kind of game. I like these survival games, and just being able to tame and ride dinosaurs. It's amazing to me. So Ark is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely on Steam. Next one is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And this game I really enjoyed too. I've played through it I think twice. I really like the story of this game. I haven't played that many Assassin's Creed games, and not a full Assassin's Creed game ever actually. But the story is great on this game. The open world is great. There's so much stuff to do, and you have so much freedom, especially when you're on the ship and you can just sail anywhere. It's great. I really recommend this game. It's cheap. I love it. I think everyone that watches this video should buy it, or like should play it in some capacity, or at least try it, maybe refund it, but I think it's worth a try. It's a really good game. Next one is Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's a game that I don't play much anymore, but I used to play this game a lot, and a lot of people on my friends list have played it as well, as you can see, and it's a very popular game. I started playing it around 2016, I think. Before it became free. I think it became free in 2018, 2019 or something, but I used to play a bit before that with my cousin on on an old shitty laptop, and it was still enjoyable actually, and I still enjoy it now. I just don't have people to play it with, and I don't find this to be a game that I particularly enjoy playing solo, because a lot of the people you're going to meet aren't going to be very nice, not very talkative or anything. I think the players are the main issue with this game, but I think it's a really good game, and it's free. It's a game at least I think everyone should try. It might not be their style or their favorite FPS game, but I think you should try it. It's free, so there's no harm in it if you have the internet speed to download it. Next one is Dying Light, and this game I really, really love. I've played quite a lot of it, and I've played through it I think 3-4 times or something, twice with friends and I think 2 times solo, I'm not sure. And I really love just running around in this game. The combat is super smooth, the parkour is super smooth. My only complaint, and I wouldn't really have had this complaint before Dying Light 2 got added, and that's the world feels a bit too empty for my taste. There are a few locations with NPCs, but mostly it's quite dead. And especially for me, since I've done all the side quests in the game, it feels a bit empty. But running around and killing zombies and just climbing on buildings, it's really satisfying. But I would probably say that Dying Light 2 is better, especially if you haven't played either of them. Though I really love Dying Light. I think both are great games. Next one is Stay Out. This game I haven't played in maybe 2 years, maybe 3. And I guess you could call it an MMORPG, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they've changed much since I last played October 3rd, 2020. But I actually enjoyed this game. It's not objectively good, but it does have a really nice atmosphere. You're in this post-apocalyptic world with these monsters and stuff. and I'm not sure exactly the main objective. I haven't gotten that far, but I think it's a pretty... It's good for like what the kind of game that it is, and I guess the resources and development behind it. I think there is enjoyment to be had here. I played it with a friend until he got bored of it. Well, not bored, really. Got such low reputation that all NPCs just killed him immediately and he really couldn't play it. Hopefully that stuff is fixed now. I hope so. But I think it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's free. I would try it. Then we have Team Fortress 2. This is probably my most played game on Steam because I used to play it on another Steam account. And I really, really enjoy this game. It had a bit of a bot issue. I think it's a bit better now. As you can see, I haven't played it since July and I don't have it installed right now. But I think this is a great FPS game with so many different playstyles you can have with all the different classes, and all the different classes have their own like playstyles and subclasses within them and stuff. So there's a lot of enjoyment to be had here. It's definitely not a dead game as some people claim. And there's a lot of game modes and stuff, community maps. I think I can definitely recommend TF2, and a lot of people have played it. So then we have Age of Empires 2. This one is a classic. I wouldn't say this is my favorite RTS game. I have an RTS game I even prefer that is, I guess, somewhat similar. I think this game is probably good. Maybe I just find it a bit dated. And maybe a bit too complicated, possibly. But it's a classic, and if you can get it cheap, you should maybe try it out if you're an RTS fan. I'm not super into RTS. It's not my favorite genre. I can enjoy the games, it's just not my favorite, but it's a good game, I would say. Then we have Albion Online. This one I have not played enough to be able to comment on. I have played it a bit on my phone as well. It's not my style of MMO, I think, so for me it's not an enjoyable game, but I think there are people that can enjoy it, possibly. I'm just not one of them, but if you want to try it out, you should. It's not that large of a game. Alien Swarm Reactive Drop I have played with a friend, and it's I find it enjoyable, actually. It's a top-down game. It has PvP and stuff. Maybe it's a bit lacking in content, I would say. Probably doesn't get updated much anymore either. But I find it pretty enjoyable. It doesn't take up a lot of space either, so I think it's worth a try if you're interested in it. But it's not my favorite game, and it's not one I would play alone either. I would play it with a friend, and the friend I played with got bored of it, so I haven't played any more of it since 2019. So Ark Survival of the Fittest I have not played, but I can say that the servers on this game are quite dead. So the odds of you even being able to play it are quite low. But if there's a streamer playing it or anything that can get the servers up, the server count up, I guess, then maybe you should try it. But for me, it's not worth the 40 gigabytes it takes up. This game I have not played enough either. A friend recommended it to me, but I didn't enjoy it, so I can't say anything about this game either. Atlas I have played a bit, and it's a bit like Ark. I think it was even made by a subgroup of Studio Wildcard, which made Ark. And it's a bit different. It's a pirate game. I've been wanting to get back to this game. I haven't played this in January 2020, and that's because it takes up 122 gigabytes. That's really the only main issue I have with this game. It takes up about as much storage as Ark, and Ark is a hefty game, so you won't have room for a lot of games if you have like a small amount of disk space. So that's the main issue, but you'll find that with all of Studio Wildcard's games, they just take up a lot of space. I found it enjoyable, I think, and the vibes are good. It's just that it takes up a lot of space. So keep that in mind. It takes a long time to download with that as well. Black Quake, I've for some reason changed my background on, but it is a I guess you could call it a Sea of Thieves ripoff. Maybe not a ripoff. I'm not sure which game came first. I find this game enjoyable. I've played 8.5 hours, and that's alone. So, and I was able to actually enjoy it quite a lot. The biggest problem for me was that a lot of the game modes I liked weren't very popular with the community. So I haven't been able to. I think I like a Fortress Siege kind of game mode. But I think this is also, it's a good game actually. I would recommend it, but it does cost you money, so but you could always refund it if you want to. I enjoyed it at least, but maybe I would say Sea of Thieves is just a better game. Then we had COD Black Ops and Black Ops multiplayer. I'm just going to include these as one game, or maybe not actually, but you do buy them as one game. Black Ops, really enjoyable game actually. I think the story is great. I think the zombies is great. My only complaint with this game, and like all COD games, is that it's really expensive. I think this game is like $30 to $40 or something base game, and then each DLC I think is an additional $15. And it really adds up in the end. Then this is still one of the cheaper games. So next is Black Ops multiplayer, and I think the multiplayer in this game is good. I have no complaints about it actually. All I can say is this game has custom servers, I suppose you could call them. So it's a lot easier finding a game here than in Black Ops 2 on Steam. So unlike Black Ops 2 multiplayer, you're actually going to be able to play the multiplayer. So I prefer Black Ops 2 multiplayer, but it's really dead compared to the normal Black Ops. Black Ops 2 it's really expensive, but I bought it mainly for zombies, and I haven't played it that much. Oh wait, because it divides it into and I have played more than 96 minutes. I got quite far into the campaign even. I didn't finish it though, or maybe I did, I'm not sure, but no, I don't think I did, but I think it's the first COD game that included branching options in the quest line, so you could get different endings depending on what you chose, which I do find really interesting. I just haven't played it that much. I think I preferred Black Ops 1 and COD World at War's campaign multiplayer. I really enjoy. This is my favorite COD multiplayer. Except for Ghosts maybe, but I haven't bought Ghosts on Steam. But I think Black Ops 2 multiplayer is great. The problem, as I mentioned before, you won't be able to find a single match to play on. So you're really not getting any multiplayer out of this. So you're essentially paying $60 for multiplayer and zombies, or single player and zombies. I meant zombies is also fine. It's something you should play with friends, though I don't enjoy it myself, as in alone. But if you have friends to play it with, I would recommend it. You might be a person that enjoys solo zombies as well. It's just not for me. Do I recommend Black Ops 2? It's really expensive, especially if you want to buy all the DLCs. I bought it with all the DLCs. I guess maybe it's worth it if you buy it on sale. I wouldn't pay full price for it anymore. World at War I think is great. It's might be it's not my favorite COD, tied with Ghosts at least. But I think this game it has great multiplayer community maps, so you will be able to find and play multiplayer. The campaign is great, zombies is great. I just really enjoy this game. It feels smooth in a way. I don't know why. Maybe it's the age. Maybe it's I like the weapons. I don't know, but I think this is a really good game, and it's a lot cheaper than all the other COD games, at least the ones released after. So I think it's really enjoyable. Then we have Cursed, FOAD. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. I do have more playtime on it than 106 minutes, that much I can say. I've played it with a few friends. I'm not sure, maybe I played it on maybe it has its own launcher that I played on, I'm not sure. But I've played this with 2 friends. I find this game perfectly enjoyable. It's just not my favorite battle royale, but I think it's even it's free, so there is that. And it's not a bad game. It's just, like I said, it's not my favorite battle royale, but it is free, so maybe you want to try it out. Then we have Darwin Project, and this game I haven't played, as you can see, in a long time. And the game appears to be quite dead from the updates, sadly. Sort of back at least, which is great. If the server's on shutdown, I can really recommend this game, and if it isn't dead, of course, because this is a really good battle royale game. It's very unique. It's going to be very different from all the other games that you've played. But that being said, I think it's too dead to actually be enjoyed, because you're going to be spending most of your time in the lobby. I started playing this game quite a long time ago, and it was a bit different then. You had some different mechanics. Then they released it officially out of early access, and they changed quite a bit. I'm not sure. I think they should have kept some features from the old version. But if you're starting to play it now, I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. I think it's a good battle royale. It doesn't take up a lot of space. If you can find a match and the game isn't dead, I can really recommend this game. Next up we have Death Guard and Blood Harvest. I have not played this game. It was made by, I think, the same studio that made... doesn't even say ours. It was made by the same devs that made Dead by Daylight. And I thought this game looked really interesting, actually. I just never got around to downloading it before they shut it down. So right now I just have it in my library to kind of remember it, but it would have been interesting to play it. But I think it's dead, so it's a shame. Defiance I've played. I think I saw I don't remember his name. Josh Driveface, I think his name. I think he did a worst MMO video about this game, and do I think it's one of the worst MMOs ever? Possibly, but I also think this game is a lot of fun. It's really fun. It's not objectively good. There's a lot of stuff broken with it, but if you play with a friend especially, I think you can have a really good time with this game. I had a blast playing it with my friend, and I've played 16.5 hours. So I would actually recommend this game, even though its reputation isn't very good. Next up is Destiny 2. I haven't played this game enough to really comment on it. I have a friend who got me into it, but I haven't. I guess it wasn't kind of my thing, but I might give it another try. It's just that I don't really have the space for it, but maybe. Doki Doki Literature Club I haven't played since December 2nd, 2019, when it came out, and like it doesn't get any updates. I thought the story was good. It was kind of interesting from a technical standpoint, and I guess that's the main charm of it. I played it back when it was blowing up. But I haven't played it since 2019, but really that's me accidentally starting the game, I think. Last time I actually played it, I was probably 2018, 2017 or something, so I don't know. I can recommend it because it's really small and you can enjoy it and maybe see like the mechanical sides of it, but I wouldn't enjoy it from a gameplay. I wouldn't recommend it from a gameplay standpoint. Next up is Dying Light 2, and this is a game I've been playing a lot of recently. I finished the story quite recently as well. I haven't played much after that. I think this is an improvement to the first game in most aspects, actually. I find this game to have more depth, first of all, and you can choose different endings and stuff and choices in the campaign, which has a lot of replay value over the first one. I think there's a lot of interesting mechanics added. I guess I don't enjoy the combat and weapons as much as the first one, and I would say that's my main issue. I don't think the combat is as good, and the weapon variety I think is a bit underwhelming compared to the first one, especially due to the lack of firearms. And graphically it's not much of an improvement either, but the fact that you have this branching storyline, that makes up for everything, and I find the characters in this game to be really interesting and likable, and I found myself playing with friends staying up really late sometimes because we just got hooked on the story. So next one is Dying Light Bad Blood. I have only played one game of this, one match I mean, and it's fine. It's definitely an interesting concept. I just haven't played enough to really comment on it. If you'll be able to find a game on it, I think you can have a good time. I just haven't played it more than 1 or 2 games. I have Skyrim, one of my favorite games of all time as well. I don't know, numbers don't back it up, but I really enjoyed Skyrim, and I still enjoy it. There's a lot of stuff to do, and with all the mods you can play it for thousands and thousands of hours. I can't recommend this game enough. This is the normal edition. There is the special edition now, an anniversary edition, which is probably better to buy. And you won't even be able to find this officially on Steam because they have it hidden. So you'll have to go into the profile of someone who has this game. You can't just search for it in the store. So, but this includes all of Skyrim, and I think Skyrim is a great game and it deserves the reputation it has. Now, I mentioned an RTS game before, and this is that RTS game. I really enjoy this game, actually. I've played it a lot with friends and a lot myself as well. I find it, I just really love this game. The soundtrack is great. I like all the different civilizations, and it's one of a few RTS games I've really been able to enjoy. The only issue I have with this game is that if you play unranked games with friends, for example, you will sometimes have this game synchronization thing, which will not end until someone leaves the game. So if you choose, and it only happens if you choose certain civilizations. So I think Mongols and Aztecs, for example, will trigger this, and other civilizations won't. It's just certain civilizations, which it's really annoying. You may lose, because matches in this game can go on many hours. I've had 5-hour-long matches, for example, with friends, and they're really enjoyable. But once that happens, you feel like you've wasted so many hours. Evolve Stage 2, this game is shut down, which is a shame. I really enjoyed this game as well. I played a few games of it, and I thought it was a good game. It's just a shame that they shut it down, because it was really good, but I can't recommend this game really, since you can't play it. So, but it was a good game when it was around. Fistful of Frags, I've played only for 67 minutes. I think this game is, I guess you could call it a meme game. But there are people that enjoy it, and I think there is enjoyment to be had here. For me, it just lacks in, I guess, mechanics. I think mechanically it's not really satisfying to play, I suppose. But the combat, if you get used to it, I think it can be enjoyable. It takes a bit of time because it's a bit different from most FPS games in how it works. But I think it's fine. Did I go through For Honor? No, I didn't. I wonder why it's not here. It must be in my hidden games. Yeah, I don't know why it's in my hidden games. But For Honor, I think it's a really enjoyable game. I used to play For Honor quite a lot. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I really enjoyed this game back when I played it. I guess I got a sour taste in my mouth back when I think Griffin was his name, when Griffin was added, and I pre-purchased him for around $10, and the DLC basically broke on Steam. So around 90% of the players who bought him couldn't access him, and it took them over a week to fix it. So you basically pre-purchased him for nothing. So and then I didn't find myself enjoying the game much after that. But I have played it quite a lot, and I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had in this game. But it's one of those games that really make you angry. So bear that in mind. But I really recommend this game. It's quite cheap too. You can buy it really cheaply. Next one is The Forest. Also really recommend this game. I've played it with a lot of friends. I'm really hyped for the follow-up game, Sons of the Forest, as well. But The Forest, the base game, I think it's a good game. It's not a game I would play single player. I think there are a lot better single player survival games out there, Ark being one of them. Main reason being because you feel very alone in the forest. You can't tame stuff. And I think that's the strength of Ark, because you can't tame stuff. So if you want to feel alone, sure, you can feel alone. But if you don't want to, you can tame dinosaurs, and they can kind of like keep you company. So the forest kind of lacks in that, I think. You feel a bit lonely, and thus somewhat discouraged from playing it. But I think it's an enjoyable game. I've played it quite a lot, and with many different friends, and I've enjoyed it each time. And it's a good example of a story being told, I guess, without words ever being spoken. And I hope the second game improves on this game in every aspect. Frank the Miner, I have not played. I got it from a Steam coupon, and it was like 30 cents or something. I don't know, like less than €1 at least. So I just bought it. I have not downloaded it. Friday the 13th, the game I have played quite a bit of. I think this game is pretty enjoyable too. I guess it has more of a horror atmosphere than Dead by Daylight does, and I guess Dead by Daylight would be the competing game. With Friday the 13th game, they're not similar in terms of gameplay, but I guess it's probably a common comparison since they both feature iconic characters. This game can get a bit repetitive sometimes, but there's enough maps and stuff for it to not really become repetitive. And I think the biggest downside of this game is that the community is really toxic, extremely toxic. So it discourages you from especially playing Jason, especially if you're bad at it. Like I haven't played him a lot, so when I do end up playing him, I suck at him. So I usually get bullied for being so bad, and it doesn't get to me that much. But it doesn't make the game fun. Geometry Dash, you've probably played this on your phone. It's the exact same as on your phone. Would I buy it here? Well, if you enjoy it, it's not for everyone, I suppose. And it depends on how how good you are, probably. A lot of people try hard this game, some just play it for fun. If you take this game very seriously, maybe you should buy it on Steam, but if you just play it for casually, then just play it on your phone for free. GTA 5 is also one of my most played games. I really enjoy this game. I've played it with a few friends, and I think the thing is, I used to hate this game, but I hate Rockstar and their ethic behind the game and the amount of bugs in it, but I actually like the game quite a bit, and it's great for having as a background game when just talking to friends. It's not very distracting, I suppose. It's not a very intense game like an FPS game where you need to hear and see stuff, and So I think it's a good background game to have just while talking, and you can have a lot of fun in it. It isn't that expensive and it's often on sale. So Grotoro, I have not played this game. Well, I have 2 minutes on it, but I wouldn't say I've played this game. It has no community content or anything, so... Hand Simulator Survival, I've played this game for 11.7 hours. And this game is fun with friends, that's all I can say. It's really cheap. I don't think you'll find a lot of people who enjoy it, but if you buy it like for less than €1 and you play it for fun with a friend, I think you can have a good time for a few hours on it, but it's not really a good game. Heroes and Generals I used to enjoy playing. I don't play it anymore, and I haven't played it in a long time. It's fine. It's not my style of game. And I think Enlisted is a better World War II era free game that you can play. So Hunt Showdown is probably my most played game as of late. And I really enjoy playing Hunt Showdown. So I like the style of the game. It's super hardcore, super intense. The weapons feel extremely satisfying. I just really enjoy this game. It's probably my favorite FPS game as of right now. Maybe even my favorite game as of right now. So The Isle I have not played enough. I bought the game. I know The Isle is really popular, especially if you watch like the Gaming Beaver. He's going to play The Isle a lot. I just found the game confusing. I didn't know what to do. I felt kind of like nothing I did mattered, and I played on a server with the max amount of players, and I still did not find a single person in the 35 minutes I was running around. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong. I just wish the game was better explained to, I suppose, and maybe had even larger servers or smaller servers or something. This game I bought to 100%, but because it only had 2 achievements and it was really easy to skip through the dialogue. But I think you need like 2 hours for it to count as a game in your Steam library. So I will have to let it run in order to actually get it as a perfect game. I think that's how it works. I don't have any perfect games on Steam, so I'm not sure. Kingdom Nothing Lasts, which is Kingdom Classic, and then Kingdom New Lands, which I have not played, and Kingdom Two Crowns, which I have not played either. Kingdom Classic, however, I really enjoy. It's really fun. It's really intense. It's really hard to like. It's not a game that you just have in the background. You have to actively play this game constantly. You can't just leave it on. You have to. Unless you're extremely good at it, of course. But I find that you have to run around a lot. You can't really stay still in the same place. I think it's great. It's cheap. It's enjoyable. The graphics are great. It's a good game. I used to play it a lot on my iPad as well. So I have a lot more hours than this, actually. Really good game. Kingdom Rush, I would not recommend buying, because you can get it free as a browser game, and this is like €10 on Steam. I've played a bit of it, and I have completed the game on my iPad. Do I have these characters? I don't know. No, I don't. I don't know. It's just not a game I would buy on Steam. I think it's an enjoyable game. Tower defense game. I just don't think it's worth €10 for a game that you can get for free on your browser. So Left 4 Dead 2 I actually just played with some friends today, so I think it's a very enjoyable game to play with friends. It's not a game I would play solo, mostly because bots are quite incompetent. But I think it's an enjoyable game. I can't really say much more. It's very cheap as well. Doesn't take up a lot of storage, so I can recommend just buying it. It's a essential game. Modern Kombat 5 I would not recommend buying on PC because it's a port of the the phone version of this game, which is good by phone standards but doesn't hold up to PC standards. The game I would also say is pay to win because the higher level weapons you get, the easier the game gets, because those weapons are just objectively better than lower leveled weapons. And it's a Gameloft game, and I just don't like Gameloft games. Well, I do love Gameloft games, and that's why I hate Gameloft games, because I dislike Gameloft as a company. But they still support this game, interestingly enough. But I think that once they abandon games, you won't be able to really play them anymore. And they've abandoned many games throughout the years. Six Guns, Order and Chaos Online, Backstab. There's a lot of Modern Kombat 4, for example. There's a lot of games, Brothers in Arms 3 probably as well. They make the games, support them for maybe a year or so, then make the next game, and then just, they don't care. And it's a shame too, because they really dominated the mobile game industry for a while, and made some of the best mobile games ever, and I still think they have the best mobile games ever. Backstab, Six Guns, Modern Kombat 5, Order and Chaos Online. Order and Chaos Online being probably my favorite game ever, or at least my favorite mobile game ever. That's how good their games are. It's just a shame they don't support them, and that's the issue. So the games basically die. Mortal Kombat X I've played a bit. Mortal Kombat is not my style of game. I think this is a good game. The graphics definitely hold up considering this game's age. If you like Mortal Kombat, you should buy it. I got it quite cheap as well. It just takes up a lot of space, and I don't think it's worth the storage it takes up, and since it's not my kind of game. Muck I have played a bit, but I can't comment on it. Well, a bit is 8 minutes. I have not played this game. I'm not sure if it's free or if I paid for it. I don't know where this came from. Anyway, Of Guards and Thieves I've played 40 minutes of. I think this game is it's somewhat enjoyable top-down PvP game. But that's basically it. It's pretty simple. It's not a game I could see myself playing a lot, but it doesn't take up like any storage at all. So if it is your kind of game, you could download it, or if you just want additional games in your library. This game I got gifted. I have not tried it. Payday 2 I've not played enough to comment on. I wouldn't say it's my kind of game. I did play Entry Point on Roblox with a friend, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just not, neither of them are my kind of game. If you play it with a friend, it might be fine though. Pubg, I enjoy this game. I just find that the people are too sweaty. There's no matchmaking at all in this game, so you will end up meeting level 500, and that's the majority of the players you'll face. So you most often insta-kill before you get a chance to do anything, unless you have a sniper. But if they also have a sniper, you're also probably going to die, making this game not very enjoyable. And I think that each update to this game just makes it worse, sadly. But I think it's a good game, especially now that it's free. Realm Royale I think is fine. It lacks in content, and I think that's the case with a lot of small and cheap games on Steam, or free games. There is enjoyment to be had here. I think the combat is fine. I think that maybe the game is a bit too easy. I feel that players are a bit too, I don't know, I feel like players, maybe they're a bit better now, but I still feel like players aren't that good at this game for some reason, or maybe it's just I have a special talent for this particular Battle Royale. But I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a fine game. I just think it lacks in content. Red Dead Redemption 2, I have played, uninstalled it because it takes up a lot of storage. But I did play it with a friend, and I did have a lot of fun, and there is fun to be had here. It's a good game. I played the online mode a bit. I just prefer GTA Online. If I had infinite storage, I would still have this game, and I would probably have played a lot more than 21 hours. Robocraft, my friend said this game was shut down, but it doesn't look like it's shut down. especially since more and more people get this achievement, which was my rarest achievement on Steam. I think still is. I think this is a fun game. You have a lot of customizability. You can design your robots just as you want them to be. But I also think this game kind of lacks in content. It's also one of these games that you should play with friends. That being said, I can recommend it because it is quite a small game. You have to make an account on an external kind of launcher, and that I don't remember my password. But I think it's a good game. RuneScape I've played a bit of. I've actually enjoyed this game. The friend I played it with did not enjoy it as much as I did. I think it's a perfectly fine MMO. It's just that I didn't enjoy playing it alone after my friend left. So, but I think it's fine. It's probably deserves the reputation it has. I enjoyed it at least, but I can't say much as I've only played 2.2 hours. SCP Secret Laboratory, I have played. It's a bit of a, I guess I would say it was a meme game. Maybe it's a bit more popular now than when I played it, since a lot of my friends seem to have played it somewhat recently. I know this many people hadn't played it before, at least. And it's fine. It's fun. Just lacks, I guess, in content. There's not a lot to this game. The Sims 4 I played a lot of. I think I played 16 hours straight, and then I haven't touched it since, because it feels really shallow compared to the previous Sims games. I personally don't think there's as much content as, like, for example, Sims 2. I grew up playing Sims 2, Sims 1, and I really loved both of those games, and I think this game is actually a downgrade in all but graphics. Which is a shame, actually. It feels lifeless in a way, and I've heard a lot of people have these exact complaints about, especially Sims 4. Sims 3 people enjoy, Sims 2 people enjoy, Sims 1. I just think people are a bit disappointed in Sims 4, and I hope Sims 5 can deliver a bit more than Sims 4 did. Stranded Deep I really enjoy. They actively update this game. Not like majorly and constantly, but they do update this game. I have played it quite in like 36 hours. I think the best thing about this game is the cartographer, allowing you to build your own islands that you can later like explore and stuff. Reminiscent of stuff like The Sims, where you could make your own plots and stuff. But this takes it to the next level, and as they add more content, you only get more stuff to do with the cartographer. So, I think this is an underrated survival game. Is it my favorite? No, but I think it's cheap, and I think you should. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I think you should try it. Subnautica, I have only played this game for 79 minutes, and Subnautica I think is a game I was bored of before I started playing it, because I used to follow this game like 2016, 17. Like that long ago, right? Like as it was in like alpha, beta, pre-release and all of that stuff. And so I followed the development cycle and everything until it released, and I couldn't play it while it released and everything, and I watched people play it. So once I started playing it, I just felt, what's the point? Why should I play this? And it's not my style of game. I just think it lacks in content. Like, sure, I can build a base, but what for? To walk around in it? There's nothing to put there. Yeah, aquariums and stuff. I think maybe I've been a bit spoiled since I've been playing Ark. I don't even find myself enjoying Minecraft much anymore because it feels so desolate without all these creatures around me. So, but I think it's probably a good game. I'm just tired of it. The Hunter Call of the Wild, I've only played for 16 minutes. I cannot comment on this game. The Hunter Classic I can't comment on either. This War of Mine, I think I bought it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I bought it. I have not played it. Tomb Raider, same thing. It was free. I have not played it. Twisted Sails, I have played this game's. It's not good. Okay, that's all I can say. You can't even play it. That's how bad it is. So, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. It's fun, but there's a sequel now, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, which is just better. So I don't really see a point to this game anymore. But once it came out, it was massive, and for a good reason. Like, you could never do large-scale battles like this until this game released, I'm quite sure, and I guess that's why it blew up, and it's really fun. I have a lot of fun with it. It's just that it gets a bit laggy when you play around with the numbers. I would probably recommend getting the sequel. Undertale, I have not played. Unturned, I have played, and I really enjoy this game as well. I think this game is fire. It's really good. I miss playing this game. I haven't played it in a long time. But it's great. It has servers that you can play on. I guess I get vibes and memories from back when I used to play on a Minecraft server as well. That I was a small server with I guess people I didn't really know, but it was a small server, so people knew each other, and I used to do the same on Unturned. It's free, it doesn't take up a lot of space. I think it's a good game, and I recommend it. VR Chat, I have played a bit of. You can have a lot of fun on this game, but I think there was some security update, I think, that basically bans modded characters. So there is that. I think people aren't very happy with the game anymore, but I think this game is fun. The people on here are absolute idiots, and that's what makes it fun. It's basically a human study kind of game, and I think that's what this game excels at, and it's really good at it. It's really fun. Wallpaper Engine, it's not really a game, but I can recommend this game. I used to make wallpapers in this game. I'm not sure if I can view them. Can I view them? I don't know, but I used to make a lot of wallpapers for this game. I really enjoyed making wallpapers on this game. I really enjoyed making wallpapers. I wasn't very good at it. I couldn't make these 3D things, but I really enjoyed it. And I think if you want need a background for your PC, this is the way to go. War Thunder, I have not played. So that's going to be it. These are all of my Steam games. I think, yeah, all of my Steam games. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and maybe there's a few games here that you haven't played, haven't heard about, and may want to check out after watching this video. I can only hope so. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video.